Have you ever stopped to think about how a simple habit can be sapping your vital energy without you even realizing it? Today, we're going to explore something that few dare to discuss, but which has a profound impact on your spirit and your journey as a conscious human being. Imagine the difference between holding a living flame in your hands or letting it slowly burn out without control. What you are about to discover could change the way you see your inner strength and how it is silently drained by everyday habits. Stay with me and see how to identify and transform these actions to protect your deepest essence. Are you ready to rediscover yourself? Vital energy is something we carry with us on a daily basis, a force that nourishes our mind, body, and spirit. However, we often neglect the importance of preserving this energy, and the curious thing is that it doesn't just drain away during big events or moments of stress. Small habits, such as the unbridled search for instant gratification, can be subtle thieves of this vitality. Think for a moment about how a flowing river, when diverted by smaller channels, loses its strength. That's how our energy works when we're not aware of the daily actions that drain it. Masturbation, despite often being seen as something natural and harmless, can have profound impacts that go beyond the physical. Many of us don't stop to reflect on how much this practice, when repeated without awareness, consumes precious parts of our vital energy. This constant wear and tear can result in a feeling of inexplicable tiredness, lack of motivation, or even a detachment from our goals and objectives. The point here is not to moralize or judge, but to understand how this energy, which should be cultivated, is used and where it goes. Many practitioners of spirituality and ancient traditions emphasize that sexual energy is one of the most powerful forms of energy we possess. When channeled well, it can nurture our creativity, strengthen our connection with our essence, and raise our vibration. But when used unconsciously, this force, which could drive growth and self-knowledge, ends up being dissipated. It's like trying to keep a flame burning in the wind. The flame, fragile and exposed, quickly goes out. Have you ever wondered why sometimes, even after moments of pleasure, there is a feeling of emptiness? This is because the energy has been spent without a greater purpose, without an intention that feeds the spirit. Imagine if that same energy was directed towards activities that nourished your inner self, such as meditation, art, or even projects that bring fulfillment and joy. This change in perspective can make a significant difference to the way we feel and the quality of our life journey. This reflection on how our energy is wasted naturally leads to the need to understand how our habits affect our mind and spirit. It's as if we were on a road, and with each purposeless detour, we were moving away from the destination. What if we could find a more conscious path, where science and spirituality come together to guide us wisely? When we talk about masturbation, many people think only of its immediate physical effects, such as the release of tension and pleasure. Science has a lot to say about this. Studies show that masturbation releases hormones such as dopamine and endorphins, providing a momentary feeling of relief and well-being. However, it's important to understand that our body is more than a biological reward system. It is an energy field, a constant receiver and transmitter of vibrations. And this is where science and spirituality begin to meet in a fascinating way. In the spiritual field, many ancient traditions, such as Taoist practices and tantric yoga, affirm that sexual energy is one of the most powerful that a human being possesses. This energy, when stored and redirected consciously, can feed not only our physical vitality, but also increase our creativity, mental clarity, and spiritual expansion. However, when this energy is dissipated frequently and without purpose, it doesn't have the opportunity to be converted into something greater, something that truly nourishes us. This doesn't mean that science and spirituality are on opposite sides. On the contrary, together they can help us understand how our choices impact our lives on different levels. Science tells us that excessive masturbation can have psychological consequences, such as decreased motivation and apathy. Spirituality, on the other hand, invites us to look at this through a more subtle lens, highlighting how this loss of energy can disconnect us from our purpose and make us more susceptible to low vibration states. Imagine your body as a battery. If you constantly use this charge on activities that only bring momentary satisfaction, You end up having less energy to invest in practices that feed your personal and spiritual growth. This lack of accumulated energy may explain why many people feel exhausted, disconnected, or in constant search of something that always seems out of reach. It's an incessant search for fulfillment, but with a source that actually only drains. The union of these perspectives, scientific and spiritual, leads us to reflect on how we can live in a more balanced way. The central point is not to abstain completely, but to become aware of how, why, and when we are investing our energy. This knowledge gives us a key to transforming a simple habit into an opportunity for self-control and empowerment. This naturally leads us to the need to discern between passing pleasure and true spiritual nourishment. How often do we find ourselves seeking immediate pleasure, believing that it will bring us lasting relief or happiness? It's easy to confuse momentary satisfaction with something deeper. When we indulge in habits that offer instant gratification, such as masturbation, we experience a peak of pleasure that soon fades, leaving an echo of emptiness in its place. This is because immediate satisfaction is not capable of nourishing the spirit. It only satisfies the body temporarily. To understand the difference between this satisfaction and true spiritual connection, it's important to reflect on how we feel after these moments. Immediate pleasure may seem sweet, but it's like drinking salty water. Instead of quenching, it leaves a greater thirst. Spiritual connection, on the other hand, is like a spring of pure water that nourishes and fills, bringing a lasting sense of peace and purpose. When we learn to channel our energy into something deeper, we discover an inexhaustible source of strength and fulfillment. Spirituality teaches that true nourishment of the soul comes from practices that involve presence and awareness. This can include meditation, prayer, meditative dance, among other activities that promote a connection with what is most authentic in us. In these practices, energy that could be spent ephemerally is transformed into fuel for our journey of self-knowledge and expansion. This is where sexual energy, for example, can become a bridge to creation, intuition, and the manifestation of a life more aligned with our purpose. When we only seek fleeting pleasure, we enter a cycle of ups and downs that affects not only the body, but also the mind and spirit. This cycle can become an escape mechanism to avoid facing deeper feelings, such as anxiety, stress, or even a sense of disconnection. However, by practicing the conscious channeling of this energy, we free ourselves from this need to escape and cultivate a state of serenity that lasts. This transforms the way we live our daily lives and the choices we make. This difference between immediate pleasure and spiritual connection is not just an abstract idea. It is something that can be felt and experienced by anyone who allows themselves to explore this change. And the more we delve into it, the more we understand that it's not about repression, but about choice. A conscious choice to invest our energy in a way that enriches and uplifts us. This reflection naturally leads to a question. How can we identify and tackle the silent effects of energy drain before they manifest in our lives? The effects of energy drain can be so subtle that we often don't realize what is happening until we are already immersed in a feeling of exhaustion. Think of a silent water leak in your home. At first glance, it seems insignificant, but over time, it can cause serious damage. In the same way, the constant loss of vital energy caused by habits such as rampant masturbation affects our ability to stay centered and spiritually strong. One of the first signs of this wear and tear is the feeling of persistent tiredness, even when we've had enough sleep or rest. The energy that should be feeding our spirit and helping us deal with the challenges of everyday life ends up being consumed in the pursuit of purposeless gratification. This can lead to a decrease in mental clarity, resulting in a lack of focus, procrastination, and a general sense of apathy. When we don't recognize these changes, they begin to influence our relationships, our productivity, and even the way we see ourselves. In addition, the disconnection with our essence is a silent but profound effect. When our vital energy is continually drained, we become more susceptible to feelings of discontent and emptiness. This state can make it harder to practice gratitude, find joy in the little things, and feel connected to one's purpose. In a cycle of wear and tear, we seek more immediate pleasure to fill the void. But, ironically, This only perpetuates the problem. It's also common for this loss of energy to manifest itself in greater sensitivity to external influences. When our energy is low, we are more vulnerable to negative emotions, such as fear and doubt, and to environments that further drain our strength. This is why many people, without realizing it, begin to avoid situations that used to make them happy, preferring isolation or activities that require little emotional energy. The soul feels weakened, and the connection with the higher self becomes more distant. Recognizing these silent effects is an essential step towards breaking the cycle. We need to be attentive to the signals that the body and mind send out, understanding that these are calls from the spirit for us to take care of our energy again and reevaluate our choices. This awakening leads us to look for practical solutions to reverse this wear and tear, helping us to strengthen our essence and keep our energy up. And it is precisely this next step, how to recover and protect our energy, that paves the way for real transformation. When we realize that our vital energy is being drained, it's natural to feel the urgency to do something about it. The good news is that there are practical and effective ways to recover this strength and create a protective shield for our soul. The key is to develop habits that nourish the spirit and bring back the sense of vitality that we so often seek from external sources. One of the most transformative practices is meditation. Simple and powerful, it helps to recharge the energy, allowing the mind to calm down and reconnect with the inner source. Conscious breathing is another technique that few people value, but which has a profound impact. Take a deep breath, hold it for a few seconds and let it out slowly, repeating this cycle several times. This practice helps redistribute energy throughout the body, balancing it and promoting a feeling of rootedness and presence. The more we become aware of our breathing, the more we are able to control the way our energy is spent and replenished, creating an internal reserve that strengthens the mind and spirit. Another way to preserve this energy is to practice the transmutation of sexual energy. Instead of wasting it, we can channel it into creative and spiritual activities. This could mean writing, painting, dancing, or simply using this energy to fuel a visualization that propels us towards our dreams. Ancient traditions speak of the practice of maintaining and directing sexual energy to the crown chakra, where it transforms into an impulse of enlightenment and heightened awareness. Self-care also plays a fundamental role. Eating healthily, maintaining an adequate sleep routine, and avoiding excessive consumption of content that provokes the mind in a negative way are all measures that help maintain energy. In addition, protecting the energy field with practices such as herbal baths, smoking with sage, or creating a sacred space for moments of introspection helps to ward off external energies that can interfere with our vibrational frequency. Recovering and preserving our energy requires more than techniques. It requires a change of mentality. Seeing life as a dance between giving and receiving, between holding and releasing, helps to maintain balance. When we start to value our energy, we respect our limits and cultivate habits that not only preserve our vitality, but expand it. And this prepares us for something even greater, rediscovering our inner strength and overcoming old patterns that keep us stuck in the past. When we begin to take care of our energy and cultivate practices that help us preserve it, something profound begins to change. It's as if we awaken to a new perception of who we really are and what we're capable of. Overcoming old patterns, especially those that keep us tied to immediate gratification and energy drain, is a journey that requires courage, but brings incalculable rewards. This journey is the call of the chosen one, the one who feels within them a greater purpose, a desire to live in tune with their purest essence. Breaking free from the habits that drain our energy is more than just an exercise in self-control. It is a process of self-transformation. It involves questioning old beliefs that have taught us to seek happiness outside of ourselves, when the true source of fulfillment is always within. Along the way, we often face challenging moments when old temptations arise to test us. But every time we choose long-term well-being over fleeting pleasure, we strengthen our spiritual connection and rediscover an inner strength that once seemed distant. Many accounts from people who have gone through this process describe a rebirth, a new clarity about life itself. Over time, you begin to realize that you are no longer just reacting to the world around you, but acting from a center of power and peace. Small daily victories, such as replacing a moment of impulse with a practice of self-care, accumulate and form a solid foundation. It is on this foundation that one builds true confidence in oneself and in one's ability to create a life that reflects one's true essence. Rediscovering this inner strength transforms not only the relationship we have with our own habits, but also the way we connect with the world and with others. Our choices begin to align with what we truly value. The energy that used to be wasted on automatic actions now flows into creation, service to others, and deepening our spiritual journey. Life takes on a new shine, and even challenges are seen as opportunities for growth and learning. Reaching this point is a milestone, but not an end. The journey of the chosen one is continuous, a dance of improvement and rediscovery. Maintaining this connection with your inner strength requires constant attention and practice. But with each step, you become stronger, more centered, and more aligned with the mission that life has in store for you. And it is this continuity that allows transformation not only to occur, but to last, creating a cycle of upliftment and expansion that inspires not only yourself, but everyone around you. At the end of this journey, may you look within and recognize the strength that has always been there, waiting to be rediscovered. Remember, preserving your energy and nurturing your spirit is an act of self-love and respect for your essence. The path to a more conscious life, full of purpose and true connection, is within your reach. Now it's time to take the next step, to turn knowledge into practice and live according to your highest vibration. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and share this video with those who need this guidance in their lives. Don't forget to comment on your experiences and reflections, as the journey is richer when shared. Thank you for being here, for dedicating this moment to your growth. Together, we raise our energy and spread light. See you next time.